I am on Patreon, and Patreon is a platform where I will upload interesting videos where you can learn astrology. Connect with me on Patreon. Much more deep insights on Vedic astrology and lot more secrets will be shared there. Hello Seekers, welcome to another episode of Hiranyahasta, your one-stop destination for astrology guidance. Now, definitely I made a video on Venus and Jupiter Shadashtak Yoga and its impact in relationship. But a lot of people started questioning about the role of the 8th house, especially with respect to Moon. Moon is the planet of emotions. It regulates your hormones, it regulates your emotions, it makes you happy, it makes you sad. It kind of defines your character. It tells you who you are, and in this birth, how will you experience the reality the way it is presented to you. That is why some of the people are always feeling very happy, even if the situation in their life is pretty bad. And there are many people who will feel very sad, even if they are presented with gold on the plate. That means even if you have the best of the things, you might still complain, and in certain cases you might have a very good relationship, but you are not that, in the eyes of the other people, you may not be rich. This is happening because of Moon and the nature of the mind and the quality of the strength of the Moon. Whether it is positive, is it with Jupiter, is it exalted, is it debilitated, and the flavor of the nakshatra which the Moon brings in your life. We'll discuss that. That is why I'm starting a series where I will explain different planets that will be 8th from the Moon, and then I will start explaining you what happens when a planet sits 8th from the Moon. Now, a lot of people will have no planet 8th from the Moon. That means it's okay. What you can do is you can watch this video academically, or you can refer to the 8th house with respect to the Moon. Remember, Moon is something that hates the 8th house. Why? Because mind don't like secrecy. Mind do not want transformation. If things are in a rhythm, mind will definitely do not want to break that rhythm. And that is the nature of the mind. And Moon, a planet that represents emotion and something that wants to live life happily, definitely do not want to break away from that. We'll discuss that in detail in this video. Stay tuned till the end. Do not forget to like, subscribe and share, and hit the bell icon. And if you want to take my consultation, you can book it directly from my website, or you can drop us an email. Now, if you want to book a Kundali PDF, that is in two versions. One, a comprehensive 300 plus pages report that gives you a full idea about your life, lot of remedies, Rudraksha recommendations, and about your timeline and 10 plus years of prediction. Or if you want to book a mini version of that gives you a snapshot of your life, both category of report are available on my website. You can visit the website, or you can book it from the link in the description box. Let's start now the analysis of the planets 8th from the Moon, and in this video we will cater to the planet Venus, which will be 8th from the Moon. That means what will happen if Venus falls in the Ashtama Bhava with respect to the Chandrama. Remember, Moon gets debilitated in Scorpio, which is the natural 8th house. Now see, Venus is a planet of love, beauty, relationship, our experience that becomes very luxurious in this life, in this Maya. It represents the mood and emotions, but when Moon and Venus come together, it creates a unique blend of experience. But when they fall in the Shadashtaka Yoga, that means Moon, which hates the 8th house from itself, finds Venus, a planet which rules Taurus, where Moon gets exalted. Moon is in a very confused state. The nature of the mind will be to drive pleasure from something that is a taboo, something that is secret, something that is unexplored. So your mind will always be to explore the unnecessary areas, unexplored areas, something that if somebody restricts you, your natural instinct will be to try that out. In this case, the state of the moon is very important, because if the mind is in a bad shape, then you might explore, say, substance abuse, you might explore alcohol, you might do negative things. But if the moon is positive, if mind is in a positive and controlled state, say Jupiter aspects the moon or Jupiter is with the moon, then the situation becomes very different. See, 8th house Venus means it is very occult. It is always going up and down. Venus represents love, marriage, relationships. And when Venus goes in the 8th house, the intensity of these emotions becomes very strong. And now the problem is that 8th house is the blind spot for the Chandrama. Venus goes there, moon can't see. Moon wants to drive pleasure from the unseen. That means a person might have long distance relationship. A person might have multiple affairs, multiple relationship. You might draw pleasure from, say, taking risks in life. And in this case, this deep, secretive and transformative relationship, this kind of emotion will be very high, very strong. Such person can be intense and passionate partners of life, or can also come under emotional trauma, because moon is unable to see the love aspect of life, and the person might feel that he is being cheated, he is being mistreated. But on the other side, if you see the perspective, that person who has this yoga itself cannot experience Venus, because Venus has gone into the secrets. On the other hand, it also creates a very mystical aura, and you will have this desire to connect yourself with science and technology and make the Maya suit as per your choice. You would want the world to move around you or suit according to your need, because according to you, the world is absent, the Maya is absent. So you would want to create something as if you have nothing. So that is one intention. With marriage and love and relationship, it is definitely a very, very challenging placement. If there are no other supportive planets and you go into one of the Mahadasha or Antardasha, this can trigger separation kind of thing, unless you have a very stable mind to adjust, because the way or the power of to adjust in the circumstance becomes very less in this case. Now on the other hand, if this Venus has Rahu effect, Saturn effect, then the relationship angle can become a trauma. This can create an experience that you will really want to forget. 8th house is very occult oriented. So somebody who has Venus in the 8th from the moon should go into the occult field. And a lot of people can take the left hand of God, the left side of the Tantra, the Vama Marga, when Venus goes 8th from the moon. I'm not saying that this is the thumb rule, but this can be an outcome of the planet. Now, when Venus represents reproductive health, this placement may indicate some hormonal imbalances, some hormonal ups and downs that can create reproductive problems, and in certain cases it can create problem in childbirth. Now imagine someone whose moon is very positive in this situation, Venus is very positive in this situation. Suddenly it makes you a very strong psychic. It makes you experience Maya like nobody else can experience. You are seeing the unseen. That means you are seeing the reality of the fabric of life, and you can be a great healer, you can be a great counselor, you can make people understand things, you can bring out perspective that is never seen before, and this kind of gives you that spiritual insight that nobody gets. So more like you have a siddhi. You can make a great astrologer, a great vastu expert, a great tantric when Venus goes 8th from the moon. The only criteria is that the Venus should not be afflicted. Like Venus Ketu 8th from the moon means you have left the material world, and this will force you through bad experience, that you either become depressed or you go into a situation where you are not able to experience the positivity of life, and then you may need help. And when Venus is 8th from the moon, trust me, do not hesitate to take help from the elderly. Always share your heart out. Even if people misunderstand you, find the right avenue to talk, find the right avenue to communicate, and find a good relationship healer, relationship counselor, and get your horoscope analyzed so that you understand that angle. Because when you will try to love, you will have an experience or a point of view that the other person may not have. and you may complain that the other party don't understand. Also on the positive side, what else can happen is 8th house is the wealth or gain from partnership. This might mean that your partner might do a lot for you. You might gain money. A sudden money gain can happen after marriage. But because it is 8th from the moon, you might not value it. So one advice to you will be, value what you have. Even if you are the richest person in your family, value what you have. The clothes that you have, the phone that you have, small things that you buy, keep them neat and tidy and do not disrespect them, because the moment you start disrespecting them, that means you don't have value, and that collapses the entire energy circuit. That is one thing. On the other hand, this combination can bring you lot of emotional insight and can make you a very strong-willed person, but can also make you a very dry, coarse kind of person if Venus is afflicted and Moon is not ready to see what Venus has to offer. So it's a very tricky situation. That is why I started this series with this video. If you have Venus 8th from the Moon, and if you have experienced failed love, loss of relationship, people not understanding your point of view, do write that in the comment section. And obviously what I say in the video is a very generic academical advice. Things will vary depending upon your chart. Things will vary depending upon the nakshatra. But here I'm trying to make it a black and white kind of analysis, so that it becomes easy for you to understand. Do write your experience and your suggestions in the comment section. And lastly, what is the zodiac sign where Venus gets debilitated? Write that, and I will come up with another video when Moon will see another planet 8th house from itself.